Hey guys, it's me. I'm back for a astro aspect on Nick Cannon. Now I've used this picture because the minute that all this came out about him, I thought about this movie, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And it's a Keenan Ivory Wayans film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's very funny. And there's a scene in here that this particular character at the time, it just came back to my memory when I heard about this fiasco that's going on with Nick. So um, I wanted to look at his chart and see what's going on, and the transits that are going on as well. And I pulled up something, and this could be some accurate data on his chart. And let's get to it. Now, this is just a test reading, and it leaves you up to your own interpretation. Every astrologer will see something that one astrologer may not. So let's get to it. Nick Cannon, as y'all may know or may not know, he got in a lot of heat recently regarding a statement he had with an interview on his show with a rapper named, well, he's more like a educator now named Professor Griff, but he used to be with the group Public Enemy. And there were some things that he said that has been causing some controversy. So I wanted to see what was going on. And as we know, Nick was born October 8th, 1980, and he is a Libra. Sun sign Libra, ascendant Gemini. Let's look up his moon sign too. His moon sign is a Libra. And from what it looks like, he has a stellium, a Libra stellium in his chart, which is in his fifth house. Fifth house is mostly about fun. It could be about children as well. Fun, children, not relationships, more like the intimacy of a relationship. So that explains the baby mama stuff that he has and the girlfriends and stuff. That's something else that's going on, but that's his personal life anyway. But I will touch certain things that stood out to me that are very interesting. So he has a moon, his sun sign, Pluto, and even Saturn in Libra. So that creates a stellium. 3 or more planets in one house. And right next to his house, and I'm sorry y'all, I didn't pull up, I have the chart, but I don't have it on this screen share. So hopefully you can understand it. He also has Jupiter in, in Virgo, but it's right at 26 degrees. That's almost close towards Libra, because it goes from 0 to, I think it's 29 degrees, I believe. I might be mistaken on that, but he's a late degree Jupiter. So anyhow, the transiting planets right now of Saturn is transiting through his ninth house in Capricorn, as you know, because it's retrograde. Pluto, same thing, retrograde in Capricorn, traveling also through his ninth house. And he even has Jupiter transiting retrograde in Capricorn. Is that at his ninth house as well? Let's see. 21 degrees. So it's coming out of his 8th house into his ninth house. So right now he is experiencing some transformation. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's kind of squaring right now. He's getting some squares. Why am I mentioning this? Because when you take a look at a person's chart and see what's transiting at the moment, and I have this transit date as July 17th, because that's the date they will give me. It makes sense about that post he made last night regarding how he really feel. He has Neptune transiting his 11th house in Pisces. Pisces is about illusions and delusions, reality and what's not reality. And right now, Neptune is in retrograde. And he has Neptune in the 7th house as well, natally, which is in Sagittarius. So he's part of that Neptune and Sagittarius generation. And they see things on a big scale. That Neptune and Sagittarius, like I said before, I think in another video, you had beginning of cults, and a lot that started like towards Neptune and Scorpio, and then towards the end of Neptune and Sagittarius, you saw the dark side of the cults. So you had, so if you do your research that decade, you will see what happened. But let's get back to Nick. Now Nick has Neptune in his 7th house, Sagittarius, which makes so much sense of why he is attracted to women like Mariah Carey, Jessica White. I think he has some other lady. I don't know. She's a video model or something. That's his child's mother. He has a child by her. And this perception of him being like this square dude, But in actuality, his Neptune, was it retrograde? No, he doesn't have no. Only retrograde plan he has is Chiron and Taurus, and I'll touch that in a moment. But Neptune in the 7th house means that he has he puts his relationships on a pedestal, and sometimes the reality may not be what it is. So that explains perfectly, along with his marriage to Mariah Carey at the time. It also mentioned too, I'm looking at a note here, that their significant others will often cherish, idealize, and fantasize about the loved one. It's important for those with Neptune in the 7th house to choose carefully in relationships and to be honest with oneself. I got that from astrologyk.com. So that was very interesting. And their projections of imaginary relationships. So this is probably, Mariah was probably somebody he totally admired from afar as her career. She started her career early while he was still young. And to most of his relationships, though, even with Christine Milian, I know this, like, it's like this facade. He has a certain type, like this model-esque looking, even in color, complexion. I know that's probably a touchy topic, but yeah, he has a preference for light skin, biracial, Hispanic, ethnic. They're not the type of women that you would think he could date. And that's because he has Chiron also in Taurus, which is in his where's his Chiron at? Oh, I don't see the Chiron. It didn't pull the Chiron. It says it on the chart, but it doesn't show it where is that exactly in his house. But it trines his Jupiter. So it must be somewhere in his either his 1st or 2nd house. Or it could be on his 6th or 7th or 8th house. So you're probably saying, well, why are you mentioning these houses and stuff? And I wanted to say that his planets he has most of his planets are either in the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh house. He has nothing in the eighth, nothing in the ninth, nothing in the 10th, nothing in the 11th, nothing in the 12th, and nothing in the first or second or third. So most of his scope is about working hard, which is sixth house, partnership, which is his seventh house. Fifth house is his children, um, his fun. He has that kitty like they young uh, type of persona about him. Likes to joke around. You got that show Wild and Now. Just explains it. His whole chart explains it. He even has his North Node in Leo in the fourth house. His IC, which they call, and his Venus is actually in Virgo. Wow. I have a Venus in Virgo too. That's interesting. But his is in the fourth house. So Venus and Virgo in the fourth house. It's a perfectionist when it comes to relationships. Very interesting. And in the fourth house, that perfectionist may have came from him in his childhood. Maybe a parent figure like his mom, or just in general. What I also want to mention is his North Node in Libra. I'm sorry, North Node in Leo. This is why he's in show business. And when he made that remark about ending it all and he's done, he's tired, he really is tired. He has a lot of planets that are transiting his outer house right now, mostly in the houses that I said that he didn't have no planets in. And with that happening, it's causing a shift in his life. He's going through a transformation right now. And he'll be 40 this year. So he's going to be going through like an Saturn opposition and basically like a midlife crisis. So from this experience that happened, if he gets the right mentorship and guidance and the resource, of course he has the resources to get those things needed to prepare his life to that next level, that next journey that he has to go. And with those planets that I was talking about, Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter. Jupiter is about rewards, but it's in retrograde. So that's why they took away the shows from him. That's why they taking away these contracts. That's why he's losing everything, because of that Jupiter retrograde in his ninth house. Ninth house is about travel, the world, the journey. It's about education, foreign things. And he mentioned about Jews in Israel. That's foreign, that's outside the US. This is why he's having that issue. And Pluto is the transformation. And because it's retrograde, he's seeing this more as punishment versus as, how people say, oh, when you lose your job or something like that, when the door closes, the next one opens. Well, in his case, he's not seeing it that way. He's seeing it as a death. And Pluto is about death, but it's also about transformation from that death. And he's not seeing it because it's in retrograde. And it's in Capricorn. And it's harsh. And with him having natal Pluto in Libra, which is about balancing and making decisions, it's hard for him to do that at this point. Because Capricorn is strict. It's in your face. It's hard lessons. It's hard work. And not only that, Saturn, which is in this natural position of Capricorn, and it's transiting, even though it's retrograde, back into it, it's Saturn is teaching him a lesson as well, as they say, karma. And also too, I'm just going to put this out there from what I'm seeing on this chart, because this is my own interpretation. Before then, like last year, he had this interview with Rizla Islam, right? And he was kind of joking around, but his joking around had some kind of backstory truth to it. He was just saying about you'll probably seen that interview about him, um, his preference or people feeling like getting, how could I put it, interracial dating, the trophy wife, and all that. And with that, him saying that he didn't really get G checked on it as much, and I think from here, this karma is coming back from Saturn in retrograde of Capricorn now to G check him about what he just said regarding another ethnicity. And what it is teaching him lessons that he has to be upfront and direct and not be hypocritical and talk about one thing but do something else or stand for something else. And that's how I see it from here. Um, I think I don't want to go too long on this, but yeah, he has a lot of things going on with Uranus and Taurus in his 12th house transiting. He is it's abrupt change, but it's stubborn change as well. Um, I think it would have been best if he just kept his comments, his opinion to himself and allowed Professor Griff to be interviewed and speak on the subject matter versus him speaking for him in a sense. Or and he has a right to say whatever he wants to say, but to come back and um, he's apologizing, he wants to build a bridge now and try to do corrective action, but he also threw Professor Griff under the bus. um, that's the way I've seen it. Other people might see it differently, but also his North Node is transiting through his first house, and it's in Gemini. So it's showing the two sides, the facades, and basically, this whole chart is told on him. Basically, I'm telling you, y'all, astrology